Okay, last week I explained what it's all about. It's not a disease, it's a natural phenomenon, but
and then
most
it gets
people,
to a point where it can become a medical condition or something.
yeah, nobody likes to fall asleep while on duty, and some people can get fired because of that. So because of that, a lot of people want to see, they want to really know what could be responsible for them having this afternoon slump. So today I'm going to be kind of shed more light and give some tips on how to come out of it.
How to come out of it. Okay, so tip number one.
Okay, the first is for people who take a lot of alcohol. Alcohol has a way of inducing the secretion of insulin, and sugar is needed to boost energy in the body. So if you have a lifestyle of taking a lot of alcohol, then you're going to have the tendency of stimulating the secretion of insulin, which breaks down this sugar present in the beer. And when that happens, you also break down other sugar that are actually meant to sustain the body or to keep the body in energy.
Okay, so it's like saying that the alcohol comes in to render the sugar function useless or something like that?
Yes, okay. It kind of aggravates, like you need sugar to sustain, you need energy, to keep alert, to be alert throughout the day.
And someone might just be thinking, okay, if I take a lot of alcohol, then I could just go back and take something. After taking the alcohol, I could take something really sugary, to boost the sugar level.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
It doesn't work that way. There's a sugar level that is needed. There's an energy level that is needed to sustain, to keep you alert throughout the day. But in between, some people can take alcohol or can take beer and they still don't get intoxicated. People take beer in between work during the day. So when they do that, they unnecessarily provoke the breakdown of this energy, this sugar, and it's mopped up. So that way energy level is reduced in the body, and that way they get weak and all that. So that's the first people need to stay away from, in between taking alcohol during work or in between work.
Okay, but they can take at night or like after work.
That is if they must have to take at all. Okay. That is. Then the second thing is that I said it as well last week, to ensure that you take breakfast. Take breakfast in the morning. It's very, very important because you need to boost your energy. And when you wake up in the morning, that's the third point now. The third point is when you wake up in the morning, people should have the culture of taking water. And if possible, they can drop 2 or 3 drops of lemon in the water. So yeah, it has a way of flushing out the digestive system and can prepare the bowel for the day.
Like when you wake up first in the morning, before you do anything, before you even probably get a brush.
Get lemon, you guys.
Okay, just get lemon, drop into the water and drink.
And take it.
Wow.
Very, very good. It keeps you active, and it helps to, keeps the digestive tract very active and very good. Then the next thing is people should endeavor to have good sleep. An adult is required to have an average of about 8 hours. So people should sleep well. If you don't sleep well, you deprive yourself of sleep. Maybe you sleep for 3-4 hours in a day.
It's only natural that you doze off in the afternoon.
Yeah. So that way it even apart from that, it causes studies have shown that it has a link to people losing their memory. And it has a way of shutting down the brain. So over time, because the brain depends solely on glucose. So, and that is that. Then the fifth point is nicotine.
The brain depends solely on glucose. How does the glucose connect with the sleeping at night?
Yeah, because the brain is actually what induces the sleep. And when the brain doesn't have enough oxygen, it shuts down.
Okay.
It shuts down. So, and I've already explained last week about the mechanism behind the sleeping and all that last week, so I don't need to go into that. Then the next point is nicotine. Nicotine is found in cigarettes. Nicotine is found in cigarettes. So people who smoke, they have the tendency to reduce oxygen available in circulation in their blood. The blood carries oxygen from one part of the body to the other. So, and the brain needs oxygen to function effectively. So when you take alcohol, you take a smoke, or you take cigarettes, nicotine has a way of sapping up the oxygen that is available in the blood. And when that happens, the brain is deprived of oxygen and it causes weakness, general body weakness, and eventually can induce sleep even during the afternoon.
Okay. And does this also affect passive smokers?
Passive smokers too are affected, but they are not as affected as the active smokers. Okay. So the next point is you need to watch what you take for your lunch. Okay.
Before you get to the next point, let's get back to the nicotine. Okay. We know there's, okay, that's not nicotine, I guess that's caffeine.
Okay.
How about caffeine and
stuff
caffeine,
like that? Caffeine too has a way of keeping you active. But we don't want to encourage people taking caffeine to be active. You are supposed to be active naturally. You don't need to induce it. Okay. So as much as possible, people take it in the afternoon, you know, take it as tea, in form of tea and all that, but it's not the best. You should walk naturally. You should be active naturally. You shouldn't struggle to keep active. If you know that you're not sleeping enough, why don't you get enough sleep so that your body can function normally? So the next point is you need to watch what to take for lunch. It's very important. If you take a lot of carbohydrates, carbohydrate naturally has a way of inducing sleep. So when you go to take a very heavy carbohydrate or starch, there's a tendency for you to feel sleepy. So, but it is advisable that people should consider taking more of starch. And if you have to, you take more of protein. And if you have to take carbohydrates in the afternoon, it should not be too heavy. It should not be too heavy. Sure, you understand.
Okay. And, so when is the time to take heavy food, you know? Because people just have this mentality, oh, it's afternoon, I think I need to take something really heavy.
Heavy, yeah. In the afternoon is the best, but it should not be too heavy.
Okay.
It should not be too heavy. That is if you have to take it. So, but protein is usually very good when you want to naturally be active during the afternoon, during the day, between 1 and 3, because that's when you actually have the afternoon slump. Then the next point is that fat. Avoid excessive fat during the afternoon because it takes a longer time for the body to digest the fat, and therefore it needs more energy to digest that fat. So that means so much energy is going to be needed from the body to digest the fat you've just consumed. And that way, when the body is sapped of energy, enough energy to digest what you've just taken, in order to convert or produce energy, what happens is you need that energy to stay at work, and you need that energy to be active at work. So that way you deprive your body as well. So as much as possible, people need to look into these areas. Then the next point is people have to be hydrated all the time. They need to take a lot of water. If you don't have the culture of taking water, there's a tendency for you to be fatigued, to have fatigue. And you know, you could start with having muscle fatigue, and eventually you could start having brain fatigue as well. So because when you are tired, naturally tired, then the brain feels dizzy and all that. So, and that way you can sleep can come in. Okay,
the muscle fatigue, does it have anything to do with muscle cramps?
No, it's different.
Okay, that's different.
That's different. Then the last point I'm going to encourage people to do to have an active life, you must do a lot of exercise. Do a lot of exercise. You have to. I've always said it that if you know that you are living here and you eat, it is compulsory for you to do exercise. Everyone who eats, everyone who does not do exercise, does not have any right to eat. I think we should just put it that way.
I think I love that. If you don't do exercise, you do not have any right to eat. Okay.
So
that's basically what we need to know about the afternoon slump. These are basically the things we need to do to stay away from the afternoon slump. I think we should put that as a quote. Anyone who doesn't exercise does not have any rights to eat. It's your Good Morning Cross River Thursday. Stay tuned for more.